Talks with Dorks. May the power protect you.
Let's rock it!
Well, we did promise you a huge 100th episode of Talks with Dorks, and after, it sounds crazy to say, but after 4 years, which, as I said last week, does include a 1.5-year break, we're at episode 100 officially of Talks with Dorks. And Laferde, I don't know about you, buddy, but we said last week we had a couple of guests come in this week. You know, we've pulled through on that request, I'd say so.
I would say so, and I think we've done really well to keep it quiet so far.
I mean, I don't know about you. I've definitely mentioned it to
I'll
a
be
few
telling
people.
everybody I know, but what I mean is we got to put it on the socials.
Yeah, we've kept it away from the social media, apart from the little video I shared of one particular moment between the two characters these people played. You know, that was a little hint. But without further ado, let's do this. What we're going to do is we're going to turn to the man who's making his return to the podcast, and, you know, also the man that made this episode happen in a sense, because he passed on a good word about us, I believe. David Fielding, a.k.a. Zordon from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Please, sir, welcome back to the podcast. And
thanks for having me again. Appreciate it. It's great to be here, and happy 100th episode. That's fantastic.
Well, I mean, like I said, we were going to go big, and especially for me and Laferde, I think this is what makes this perfect. This me and you, mate.
This is so amazing. Yeah.
We fell into a friendship because of Power Rangers, and now we've said that we've brought Zordon onto the screen. Let's bring the other gentleman onto the screen, because my way of looking at how this happened is that last time David was here, that night I caught David gaming with this gentleman, and David had mentioned he'd been on our podcast, and now he's here. So not only have we got Zordon from Power Rangers in Space, from Bloodline of the Grid, from the Power Rangers lore itself, we have a Red Ranger joining us. He played Andros, the Red Power Rangers in Space Ranger. Chris Kamen Lee, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here, and it is an honor, sir. Thank you for being here again.
No,
saying it.
Thank you for having me, and yeah, congrats on 100. Well done.
Well, I didn't realise how big it was until I started staring at my screens when your names popped up to come into the lobby. It was like, well, yeah, this is happening. And Chris, you were first as well, and we've not met, you know, we've not actually met before. So you being the first one, we both looked at the screen and went, "Are you ready? Are you ready?
Like, this is happening.
Are you ready for this?" It was,
See,
you know, we've met David before, soften the blow, but no, Chris is here first.
No, because if David'd been on first waiting for me, he would have just been sitting there saying, all right, is Chris going to be extremely drunk and stupid or just mostly drunk and stupid?
Make sure your finger is hovering over that bleep button.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, guys. The only one that gets censored here is me. Any content I make, we put on a private channel.
Nice.
On the Patreon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you do make some questionable content. Like, we have a Patreon page where he brought his friend on just to... What's the word here, Laferde? What was...
Expose him.
Expose him. He did a common sense quiz with him, and yeah, he didn't paint him in a very good light. Let's just say
he made Bulk and Skull look smart.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I like the reference.
Yeah.
In genre reference. So this is what's crazy is obviously when, you know, like I said, this all as such for me came about just because you two were gaming together, and this is what's crazy is that obviously there is this big universe of Power Rangers. This is the reason, you know, this conversation is happening, is this big Power Rangers universe. One of the biggest moments in both of your characters' story arcs happened together, but you guys didn't actually ever get to work together on the set of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But you're friends.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, as we said before, friends is a loose term because there's obviously heat between you.
Dave was doing everything he could to avoid me on set, so he saw me coming. He was just like,
you know, the sexual tension was just
Bring
too strong.
I mean, do the voice. I can't be here.
Yeah. I mean, the pheromones that Chris was putting off, it was just nuts.
well.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you were saying previously that you two actually didn't actually know each other until 2014. Is that correct?
yes.
Yeah, we met at Power MorphCon in 2014. We were both standing in line to get our photos taken for the No Hate campaign folks that were there, and I was behind Chris in line, and I just sort of tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I just wanted to say thanks for killing me," and that just set the tone for the entire relationship. And from there on out, we've just been giving each other crap for the last 11 years, something like that.
11 years, yeah. Well, I do what I can, Dave. I kill people what I can. So.
To be fair, if we're going to go for it, if we've got to look at it, you told him to do it, so
Yeah.
Doug.
Yeah, that's a thing. I just did I did a panel at LA Comic Con, and we were just doing a panel, and again, it's brought up to me about what's it like, your character was the one that killed Zordon, blah 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 blah, and Dave and I have probably talked about this hundreds of times over the years. I don't know, and mentioned it when we're if we're live streaming or whatever. Zordon told him to do it, and the reason why is because you kill one guy and you save everybody, or you don't do it and everybody dies. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Just shut up and do it, So, but people always,
Everyone blames
Zordon,
Andros.
so. Everybody blames Andros. Yes.
I think
Or just me.
No, I don't know, 'cause you had the beautiful blonde bleach bit there in your hair. You were a
God,
sweet,
don't say beautiful.
sweet youngster-looking guy at the time. I think it was just down. You were the new guy. You were the new guy. People were putting the blame, not on the OG, because even though Andros had been a Ranger, but I think the blame was just put on the OG-ness of Zordon being that character. They were wanting to blame somebody, and Andros just took the blame.
They have to blame the only guy that had the balls to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, again, I'm, I don't think there's anybody to blame.
No,
I mean, the show is not that kind of show. It was made for a certain demographic of folks, and on one surface level, it's very simple. I mean, as you get older, you make things more complex because you have questions. You want to answer those questions, and the amount of responsibility that Zordon dumps onto Andros' shoulders is huge. I mean, how are you supposed to follow through when somebody says you need to do this, right? I mean, and again, the way the show was made, the way that the characters are drawn or written in the show, they don't have room for any of that complexity. So on one level, it's very simple. It's a very simple act of, making sure that good wins out over evil. That's the whole premise of the whole thing. And we could sit here and talk for an entire hour about the complexities of what Zordon asks Andros to do, but I don't think we want to get into all that. But I mean,
I think that the fact that there is that so much you can make of, like you say, it's a show ideally based. I think they always said the age range is 7 to 8. That's everybody at 7 to 8 that's when they get hooked on. But when I was there for the original season, I was 7, 8 years old. I think that's the age. It's not as complex, but when you get older, you look at that's when it gets complex, because you start fantasizing. This is where, online conspiracies where people make these comics or these web series and stuff, that this is what makes
and
something
fanfics.
like Power Rangers. Yeah, so it's just memories. It's just something you can make, and something that you love because you can fantasize about all the different reasons this happened, even though it's technically a cheesy kid show. Not to us, it was the best thing that ever happened.
Well, I mean, on one hand, it is a cheesy kid show, but at the same time, they're telling the same kind of stories that we've told each other over hundreds and thousands of years. I mean, if you break it down on one level, it has a very sort of Greek myth aspect to it. Here is this character up on the mountain telling this other character, you need to kill me in order to do something good. And that's a story that's been told throughout time. So, I mean, it's simple, but it's also not simple. So.
It's in a sense, it's the Star Trek 2 with Spock. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Is that
Or the one.
right?
Or the one.
Or the
That's
one.
it. Yeah, that's it. The needs of the one. That's it. So it's exactly that, isn't it? Like, yes, I am Zordon, but there we go. But I suppose, like you said, it brings for you guys a conversation you have to have all the time because, like you say, that is the characters you played. And even though, like I said, David, you wasn't on set that day for that moment, but you were asked.
Neither was I. I wasn't either.
Oh yeah, of course.
I didn't do that. That was Hiroshi.
Yeah, that was
not me.
Fair point. Yeah,
That was Sentai footage, man.
Yeah, Maida-sama did that, not me.
But again,
Don't blame me.
but for the characters, is what probably one of the things you have to talk about repeatedly because, especially because you two have a friendship, you're probably together when you're gaming together. People will bring up that moment because it's the end. Like I say, it's the end of that part of the era, isn't it? But I mean, in some sense, they could have ended the whole Power Ranger run there, and it would have been an amazing story because that's the Zordon era. But it continued, and even
Yeah, well, that was the original idea. Was
yeah.
that was going to be the end of it all. So, but yeah, Dave and I have talked about this. Who knows how many times? I mean, hundreds, maybe thousands. I mean, at this point. But one thing to kind of keep in the back of your mind is that these are aliens that we're talking about. Is Zordon really dead? Do you know that for sure? He got hit with a sword and is basically a power drill. Is he really dead? We don't know that. And it's the same thing that when I've had people ask about would Andros go to school or something like that, and my answer was always that the three kids from KO35, so Andros, Zane, and Corone, Astronema, how old are they? Because we don't know. Because we don't know what their physiology is. They could be hundreds of years old. We have no idea. They, the two boys have telekinesis, but that seems to be like a genetic thing that's in their species or whatever. And she has electrokinesis, so that's another thing like it. So it's like they come from a whole other galaxy. I'm sure they eat very different food. He didn't know what the hell a banana was. So how old are they? What powers do they actually have? They didn't really get into it that much. How different are they? How different is Zordon from normal living things that don't have superpowers? Is he really dead? I don't even know. So make of it what you will.
I think that's what makes, again, it's that thing that makes this universe of this, obviously there are different, there's the DC universe, the Marvel universe. Power Rangers is something in its uniqueness because it came from something else, and as such they were restricted in some ways, especially at the beginning of what you can and can't do with these characters. What they did with it, with the footage they had and everything, it made this special. You like you say, you can overthink all of it, everything from the when people sit there and say, well, Zordon actually chose a load of 14, 15-year-olds to go save the world. That's a bit crazy. But you go,
that's that's another thing we've brought up too.
Yeah. There's so much you can analyse on everything to do with Power Rangers, but the fact that you can shows that people are so passionate about it. I mean, I had an argument online when Once and Always was coming out. I made a video and I mentioned how exciting it was that you were going to see Walter Jones and Steve Cardenas actually on screen together. And the guy was like, no, they've been on together. I'm like, no, you understand, right? Like, they actually wasn't, because if you look at what happened, there was issues. They actually weren't on set. And he continued to buy on the fact, even though I'd shown him a video where they are on behind the scenes of Once and Always saying, this is a great thing, this is the first time we've actually got to work on Power Rangers together. This guy was still adamant, and I was getting frustrated, but laughing at the same time. Was that this shows how passionate people don't like their their ultimate fantasy in their head to change.
Yeah.
In any way.
I've actually I've had people argue with me that Slavin was on set when we did Forever Red, and I was like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't, because I would have noticed that. I'm fairly certain he wasn't there. So
Again, if they had have ended Power Rangers at the Zordon era, yeah, I mean at that point, Andros, if going through my, you hadn't worked with, you'd worked with some of the previous cast, like Gold Ranger was in space, and obviously Justin came back, but you wouldn't by that point have met Austin, Jason, or
right,
yeah. So
yeah.
if they hadn't have carried on, Forever Red, which ultimately in a lot of our eyes is the original Endgame, the first one. It's, to some of us, it's bigger than that, because there's 10 years of 10 different Red Rangers and all these stories coming together. That's bigger than Endgame because it lasted for a long time. But again, it's a fantasy, isn't it? I mean, I could just reel off about this all day long about how great it is. Laferde, you take one.
I just want to say that Zordon, I would have missed if I swung for you in that tube.
Say again?
With my eyesight, I would have missed if I was the one swinging for you.
You'd still be around.
It wouldn't be for lack of trying, but it'd just be...
He's not going anywhere. Just hit him like a piñata. You'll get him eventually.
Just me swinging around.
I think at that point Zordon would have gone all Rick Sanchez and be like, "Oh, geez, Morty, come on,
just hand it to me.
Yeah.
Just hand it to me. Put the sword in my mouth. I'll do it myself. Come on."
One of the things we were talking about last time with David was David's experience on the set was completely different. Because, he was brought in to do his part, but never actually got to interact with the guys on the set. Yours was obviously unique, Chris, because you were coming in as a Red Ranger that was already a Ranger, which, other than the Alien Rangers, it was pretty much the first time that had happened. But you were also coming into an established team that had done a season together, and you had to be the leader. How was that for you? It was like, obviously you were very young at the time, coming into this.
Yeah,
that been a huge hit. So that's got to be daunting, to say the least.
Yeah, I was 19 when it came on. So I was a baby. I was just a wee baby. It was I because they had and already, like, the other four were already there for the year before. And when I first started filming, they kind of one of the producers pulled me aside, and he did tell me that they would prefer it that if I didn't hang out or talk to or get to really know the other Selwyn, Tracy, Patty, and Raj, because they felt that it would be better for the character to still seem more distant from them. And my first thought was, well, I could act like I don't know them, because that's what I'm here to do, is act like I don't know them. But I could still get to know them. But they were very much like, no, it would be better. And the thing that you learn when working with Saban is that if they tell you to do something, you do it, or you don't have a job very long. So, so when they tell me, yeah, exactly. That's why they're still on a peace mission or whatever the hell they're doing. But when they told me that it would be better if you just didn't hang out with them or anything like that, it would be better for the characters. So it was very lonely for me for a while. I don't think that everybody else has gone through that, especially when they bring it. Like, after our season, ours was like the last one where they would keep people on, and then they were like, okay, now, after we've done space, now we're going to start doing it where we bring in a whole new team every year and all that. And we were like, oh,
I think like 2 seasons.
You're welcome for saving your show. We'll just go get into the unemployment line now. Thank you.
It was like 2 seasons maximum after In Space, wasn't it? Like, some of them got Samurai and Super Samurai. Some
Oh, right, yeah.
Maximum, but like you say, there was the continuation arc, other than team-ups, kind of fell apart in a weird way. But it's like, that was also what we loved about it, because the characters that ended that era had like been part of the journey from the beginning. That's what made that so special, was the Zordon era, is because Zordon brought this team together and Zordon was there to see it out.
Yeah, he's our Obi-Wan. So but yeah, they did. The other actors never knew about that too. That the producers had asked me to do that. So it wasn't until like I would say like 3, maybe 4 years ago that I was actually hanging out with Roger, and we were doing a thing where we were kind of doing like a riff tracks thing where we were just ripping on one of the episodes that we did, and somehow, I don't know how, but that subject got brought up, that dude, we all thought you were an asshole when you first came on because you didn't want anything to do with us. And I was like, bruh, that wasn't me, that was Jonathan. Bring that up with Jonathan. He told me this, da 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 da. And when I explained that to him, he was like, seriously? We had no idea about that, man. We thought that you were too good for us, so you just didn't want to hang out with us. And I was like, bro, I was like alone in my apartment crying in the corner and shit, man. What are you talking about?
It's interesting that you bring that up, because I wonder if that was another Zordon connection, because Zordon was so separated from the original team. You know, he wasn't there. He was distant from them. So I think that's an interesting choice. I don't agree with it. You know, like you said, I mean, you know, you could have just acted like you didn't know who they were. But I mean, I'm just, it's, again, one of those things that probably nobody ever thought about, but, you know, because it's simple, but not so simple. It can get complex when you think about it, so.
The rest of the team thought you were an arse. So, for no reason other than that's what you'd been told to do. And, I mean, method acting is a thing, but it's also... You're Leonardo DiCaprio earning $15 million for a film. Yeah, method act the hell out of it. But if you're a young guy being brought onto his first big role, who's going to be the leader of a team, you'd think he'd be allowed to talk to the team here and there before to get to know him.
You would think.
Yeah. But that, you know, I think as we grow up, I mean, we as kids, what we see is what we saw on TV. We were blinded by this colourful team of superheroes led by a big blue floating head and a robot. You know, it was all fantasy. We weren't seeing, like, I remember when when Jason, Zach and Trini left, I remember being young and thinking, that's not the voices, that's weird. But not understanding what had happened, because there was no internet back then. There was no way of knowing what had happened. We were just... I think I found out stuff because of Power Rangers magazines back then. Used to read interviews with stuff. I remember finding out about Zeo because Jason David Frank had been in an interview in a Power Rangers magazine and told Power Rangers magazine that the name was going to change to Zeo. And it was like, what? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers anymore. And then there were Turbo Rangers. Who are these alien Rangers? And why have they gone to space? What's happening?
Every series ends up in space at some point.
That's right, yeah, absolutely. Especially
it has to.
Especially, I mean,
it has to.
I think you were around the same time as Jason X.
Just a couple of years before. Yeah.
You did it first.
But I think that the Leprechaun beat me to it. I think Leprechaun beat us.
But no one remembers that. It's okay. People remember Power Rangers in space.
And that is a shame. That is a shame. That movie is wonderfully stupid.
Do you guys, like, do you ever sit and, like, do it yourself? I mean, because you know you're part of such a big, you know, the childhood fantasies of millions of kids across the world. That sounds crazy, but do you ever sit and, when you're talking amongst yourselves, you know, you can talk to us because we're fans and we want to hear you talk about it, but do you ever just fantasize, go, what if Zordon and Andros went on a road trip together? What would that be like? What if we took the Astro Mega ship and went on a road trip?
Well, I think we do, because Chris has created something completely on his own with Bloodlines of the Grid. I mean, so obviously Chris had thoughts about what should happen or what could possibly happen. So yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah. That all came together just because I was asked a question at a panel a million years ago. Did you ever consider that Ecliptor was Andros' father, Andros and Caron's father? And at the time, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm such a fucking idiot! I don't know why I didn't see that before. It makes so much sense." The whole show was completely based off of Star Wars, and the thing that really sold me on like jumping in and being like, "Hey, let's go full force with this," was one of the other producers had told me, he was like, "You ever seen Star Wars?" I'm like, "Dude, yes, I've seen Star Wars." And this is before the prequel, so this is real Star Wars. And he's like, "Well, yeah, you're basically like Luke Skywalker." And I was like, "Well, shit, I'm in, man. Now you got me." That's all you had to tell me was, yeah, you got me. And then when filming, I got to see, dailies, and I got to watch, especially when we're doing the ADR and stuff. I got to see Lex playing as Ecliptor, and the more I was watching it, I wasn't watching the show, but I was watching dailies and stuff like that. So I was like picking up what's going on with the show, how it really looks, and all that stuff from that. And yeah, like way back when, I was thinking, this is our Darth Vader. Ecliptor is our Darth Vader. It's what he is. He's considered the bad guy, but he's very honorable. And then, all those billions of years later, when I'm asked that, it's like, it just hit me in the head like, oh my God, I can't believe I never realized, I didn't really put that together, that, yeah, that it makes so much sense. I mean, he saved Andros' life like 10 times on the show, and he didn't care about any of the other Power Rangers, did not even reference them once. He treated Astronema as though that's his sweet darling daughter, because she was. So it's like, God, it makes so much sense. So yeah, that's kind of what we did with Bloodline, was the what if, and the where are they now. It's kind of a mix of both. So that's what we did.
Which is, again, carrying on. Like, I think Power Rangers is one of the strongest universes for fan, and I mean all the different fan stuff out there. It's one of the strongest, for people to believe canon stuff. The fan stuff is out there to be like some of the biggest stuff. I mean, some of the things that people have made, Bloodline, the Grid, the I can't remember what they called it, but the Power Rangers, I think it was around 2014 when you guys would have made the James Van Der Beek 10-minute.
Oh God, I love that.
That was
Vanderbeek and Katie Sackhoff. That was one of my. When I saw that was my favorite Power Ranger thing ever. I was like, this is exactly what it should be. This is phenomenal.
Right, so that's what I mean, and that was never meant to be anything more than that 10-minute short. But with like 11 years later, people are still talking about that as if it was part of the overall actual Power Ranger, because we all watch it. We're all excited for everything. This new web series, which I think really has brought a big resurgence. The talk of that, plus Fortnite, has made Power Rangers. And there's no Power Rangers out there being made, like really, other than this web series by Ninja Kids. Power Rangers all of a sudden everywhere. I mean, you've got the new Reignition line of toys. You've got literally last week, David, can you imagine? I'm not even going to lie to you. I was streaming on TikTok, playing Fortnite, and have you seen this Megazord? How you get into the Megazord? You have to speak to Zordon. I went over to him and I genuinely said to him, "Can't wait to talk to you next week on the podcast," and press the button and join the Megazord. Because they've made Power Rangers. Like, I've seen, like, a friend of mine had a birthday party for an 8-year-old. Again, an 8-year-old that doesn't have a new series of Power Rangers to watch like the rest of us had. Power Rangers birthday, Almighty Morphin Power Rangers, because there's this love for it, and people are like pumped to see this new series. Do you guys think this is crazy? Like, this thing gives without having to give.
I don't think that it's crazy. I think that it's just an extension of what has always been around. I mean, Chris and I wouldn't have wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Super Sentai or the Tokusatsu in Japan, which has been going on since 1974. This constant overturn, different cast, this idea that, you know, regular people transform into these heroic characters. That's, I think that adds a lot to what we're experiencing now, this sort of forever passion for a team of heroes who stand up and do the right thing when they're called upon. I mean, it's, again, it's basic heroic storytelling, the same thing that we've been telling each other since man first learned how to write stuff down. I mean, that's, you know, something that we all aspire to. So, I mean, I can, you know, Chris and I have talked about this a number of times. We both feel very grateful and lucky to be a part of something that is a worldwide phenomenon. I mean, it's crazy.
It is exactly that, isn't it? Like you say, millions of people around the world know about this show. Like you say, it was taken from another show. Could have gone away. I mean, if, you know, for example, would it have worked if Zoltar was the name? If the more
that was the original name of the character.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've seen that pilot hundreds of times because it fascinates me, like the simple little things they did to change. Just to hang on, let's just brush over a little bit. Let's just brush over. Hang on, Zoltar, does that work? Because I don't know why, but whenever I hear Zoltar, I think of Dude, Where's My Car and Zoltan. I don't know if you remember.
Well, I think
I would think of Big.
Yeah,
the movie Big.
Zoltar, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But I always, in my head, because of the guys doing the Z with the Zoltan in Dude,
Zoltan.
Where's My Car? It always pops in my head. And like the morph sequence, you know, it's not, doesn't hit like it done when Power Rangers started. Like, it was like, hang on, no, if we're going to do this change into a superhero, let's give it some oomph. Because I always think of Austin when he says Tyrannosaurus. It's so, in that pilot, is Tyrannosaurus. It's not what it becomes later on. It's so laid back.
Wow.
It's like Tyrannosaurus, but like, no, when you know that, it's Tyrannosaurus. Let's rock.
Yeah, you got to shout that.
You've got to oomph it.
Yeah.
That simple little thing made that what every one of us 7, 8-year-olds wanted to do, was scream those words out.
Not just 7 or 8.
all the enemies have to stand back and, you know,
Yeah, just
wait,
sit there, check
wait for the transformation to
Yeah,
complete. Okay.
This shit again? God, can't these kids speed it up?
And they get longer and longer. You know.
Is it the cat with the flashing lights? And
Yeah.
the cat's meant to be the villain, and you just see the flashing lights of the villain waiting for the Power Rangers to do the morph sequence. But listen, why did we watch it every single week? Because it's to see. So even the villains are like, give them their 5 minutes before we start fighting. See them suit up. Laferde, this is your moment. You're sitting there very, very quiet.
I'm taking this in, mate. Come on. Right.
I know you are, but I've told you before, when we do big interviews like this, like, this is your chance to ask a question. You know, I'm sure David and Chris would be quite open to, maybe not all your fantasies that are in your head to talk about, but
is there a way to kick around?
Interesting ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
We'll save that for the Patreon.
see, this is what I mean. So no, Chris, me and my girlfriend are actually watching In Space at the moment, and we've got to the Psycho Ranger arc, and she loves the hair, by the way.
Oh God. Never again.
Just before I ask this question, you and Ashley, fair play. You and Ashley, fair play. Mate.
Wait, what now?
You and Ashley, fair play.
Okay.
It's a good couple. You remember the first scene where the Alliance of Evil are having like a toast to Dark Spectre?
Oh yeah, the very first episode.
Yeah.
That I'm actually not in.
Yeah.
Just my voice.
So
But yeah.
you guys have a bit of a back and forth on the table, and you summon the Galaxy Glider, and
Right.
obviously the glider comes along and you jump on it and you fly away. Her words were, why has he just jumped on a car door? And the thing is, she's downstairs.
Well,
she can hear me say that as well, so she's going to be so mad.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say to that. It wasn't a car door.
No,
I did.
know.
That's one of the few props I did actually get to see and touch in person. And those things were those boards were pretty big. They were like 7-8 feet long, all fiberglass, and couldn't do shit with them because if you move them around too much, they just break.
Did you have to try
yeah.
balance on them or anything?
We did not ever.
Nah.
We were like when I say touch them, I mean like just barely with your finger. Just ding. That's about it. They didn't let us do anything else. No, don't touch it. Don't break it. Don't do anything stupid. So
Very, very sensitive about the props.
very, very sensitive about the props. Yes. Yes.
If I remember, I was reading something earlier. Is it that you had stated that you that Become in Space, they were very, very strict on what was going out the door because of a certain, God rest his soul, Green Ranger / White Ranger / Red Ranger.
Yeah.
Been taking a few bits.
They were extremely on that. They told me before I even I think I was actually getting fitted for the flight suit, and they were like, yeah, every day when you wrap, put your stuff in your room, and we're gonna have a checklist, and we're gonna go through everything that you're wearing, whatever props that you got on, like the morphers or whatever, if you have anything else on. And they said the reason why we got to do this is because Jason stole everything on the show, and if it wasn't nailed down, he was walking out with it. And at the time, I was like, oh wow, that's kind of funny, huh? It didn't really like click in my mind that was actually a thing until after we did Forever Red, and they invited me to his house, and I'm walking around his house, and he's like, yeah, man, let me show you this room. And I go in there, and it's a museum that he made of himself and all the shit that he stole off the Power Rangers. And he had 3 full mannequins of White Ranger, Green Ranger, Red Ranger, full suits, everything. He got like the shoulder pads, he got the whatever morpher it was, he got the boots, he had the glove, he had everything. I don't know how the hell he was like walking away with this stuff on set, but he had a ton of crap. So, yeah, that's the reason why they go over. So they're very diligent with what props and stuff you wear.
It made me laugh when I was reading that because good memories of Jason and thinking back, and it made me think. Do you know what's quite funny about that is because people always question why did 3 of them stay in the original? Why did 3 leave? It's like, well, Jason was probably thinking, if I leave, I'm not going to be able to take all this stuff. I've got to give it. They might stick around and show that I am willing to stick around. They might turn a blind eye to me stealing everything.
So I can nick more stuff, huh?
Yeah, it sucks to be any other leader of the Power Rangers after me, but one of the originals. But again, maybe it was for you. That's a completely different experience. I mean, other than makeup, then what was there for you to steal? Because you wouldn't have been around any of the props as such.
No.
Didn't get anything. I didn't get a thing. Not a thing. And they also when we wrapped, they did give us like a photo album, which was basically like set photos that they had taken from all the episodes that we had done. But there really wasn't any oh, hey, would you like to have these, or would you like to have this? I actually bought a jacket from the set. They gave it to me dirt cheap. It was $10, but they were like, we can't give this to you, but just whatever you have in your pocket. And I was like, I got $10. Okay, we'll take it. So I bought that, and I bought a pair of shoes. That was it. So I've heard other people though after me. They were like Brennan. It was like, yeah, they gave me my whole suit and all this shit. And I'm just like, man, you go fucking jump out a window, dude. You're an asshole. You like I said, we've said it. You followed on from quite a lengthy. I mean, yes, TJ directly took over from him, but you were part and parcel of that era of no, look, we've learned our lesson with the last guy that was here, that was running the show as such. We'll just keep an eye on you a bit more. But so I mean, so for you to have that experience, David had a completely different experience where wouldn't have even seen.
wouldn't even been around the costumes, I suppose, David.
No, I mean, but I think Chris and I, we still were operating under the sort of, they're operating on a shoestring budget. And one of the reasons why they were keeping such a track of all stuff, because they didn't want to have to spend extra money on replacing stuff.
Yeah, of course.
That's the main reason. So, I mean, it's not that they were trying to keep people from, having a bit of memorabilia. It's like they couldn't afford it. Or they wouldn't pay out for, like on a big budget James Bond film. I don't know how many tuxedos they have for Daniel Craig, but I'm sure it's better than one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there, Chris had one suit. That was it. And I remember, listening to Walter and Austin and David Yost and, they all talk about how, after a while, those suits start to stink because, you're wearing it every day, 16 hours a day, and, they can only dry clean them, I don't know how often it is, but it's not that often. So, and that's kind of the shame. It's a crying shame that they didn't have the budget that they should have, to give Chris 3 suits to run around in. It would have been fun for that, but that's how these things get made,
I think that's one of the fascinating things for me as a fan of not just what you did in the show, but like when you see Comic Cons, you see these fan interactions that people have. That fans, I'm sure both of you have been gifted stuff by fans that overwhelming, like things that stuff maybe from the show, maybe from that they've made pictures and stuff like that. So like what you didn't get to take as such, yes, everyone wants to be have their own Red Ranger suit, of course. I'm still looking at buying a cosplay suit, but I'm sure like the afterthought of anything that stopped you thinking, I wish I had that. The afterthought with the fan interactions is what keeps probably what brings you guys closer as friends as well, is that this stuff you go through because you were part of this big thing.
Everybody, if you work for Saban, you are family. So
yeah,
we're all family. We've been through the trenches.
I wouldn't go so far as say it was PTSD, but I mean,
Well,
what's a family if there isn't some teething problems along the way?
But I mean that's sort of kind of like the Hollywood experience in a nutshell. It's so crazy to me how a lot of these like really big budget things operate on shoestrings, and you don't actually get that when you're sitting at home watching it on the screen. You're like, oh no, that's pretty great, But if you were there on the day when they were filming it, was like, man, this doesn't look like what I thought it was going to look like,
No, editing is a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's only gotten more sophisticated from our time because we didn't have CGI. We didn't have computer enhancement kind of stuff. It was all very practical for my seasons, and I'm sure for Chris it was very practical too. I mean, they may have done some green screen stuff, but that was about the limit of the technology at the time. So,
yeah, I know they did a green screen shot with Hiroshi in the Battleizer suit. I think it was maybe like the first time that it was on screen or something like that. But it was kind of bare bones. It was, work with what you have. Kind of what we do on Bloodline. Work with what we got.
That's part of the magic, because and again, it's very theatrical. You can fake it until you make it, kind of thing. And it's just crazy.
Even after all this time, do you still, because you're still around editing and acting, and so do you still you still find yourself fascinated with how it all comes to when, like say, when you're on a set on the daytime and this scene's being shot, and you're like, that's not kind of how. But then you watch, if you've edited it or the person, the actual editor's put it together, and you go, even now to this day, go, that's clever. That is so. I can't believe I was part of that, and that's what it's come out as.
For me, I let DJ be the clever one. Let him do all the clever shit. I'm not smart enough to be clever, so he takes care of all the clever.
But you were obviously that's what I mean. But when you see it, or you still, like I say, even after all this time, you still sit there and go, yeah, wow, okay, I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
I can't believe we're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, we do that on Bloodline all the time. So like, I've seen several times where it's like what we're filming, and then I see the finished product, and I'm just like, holy shit, that's like night and day. That's totally different. Oh my god, how did you do that, DJ? So that's yeah. And on Power Rangers, it's the same thing, just a much bigger scale because of the budget and whatnot. But, yeah, the ship on the set for the ship on Space was it was just like 5-6 walls. That was it. They were all like together by like Velcro. We just pull them apart, and they just like they were constantly remaking the ship while we were doing scenes. So it's like, okay, now you're going to be running down this corridor, and then you're going to make a left at the end, and all this stuff. And all they did was just basically take the walls off of the bridge, and then just make them into a corridor. Just like
That goes back to like the original Star Trek. That's
right. Yeah.
It's the same hallway. We're just going to shoot it from the different angle. It's crazy.
Don't worry, guys. I got some Christmas lights. We'll put them on the console. Looks perfect.
It's like the basis of like sci-fi, isn't it? I think of stuff like the original Star Trek, Red Dwarf over here.
Yeah.
You see the corridors, and it's like you've definitely walked down that same bit of corridor at least 4 times in the last 10 seconds. But okay.
Well, for me, that's what's really fascinating about the whole industry is that you have these specialized jobs, like cinematographer or set decorator or background artist, whatever it is, or the director himself is able to look at. Well, you're standing under an overpass here in Van Nuys. But once we get back to the effects studio, all this stuff is going to go away. It's going to be like a cave underground. But here I am acting my heart out under a bridge in Van Nuys. But the finished product is something that they see. I may not see it, and that takes like a real skill. And so that's part of the whole the art of filmmaking, the art of putting all that stuff together does require these like specialized jobs, people who can see what is not actually there. It's a talent, I guess.
I can't even see what is there.
If you haven't figured it out, his eyesight's not great.
It's terrible.
It's always blind jokes with Laferde. But I suppose again, and I think like with editing, if you think Power Rangers is, people, as an adult, I can now look back and go, yeah, I noticed certain things don't gel together, but they had a hard job. They were taking a show that was already established, changing the storylines as such, but using what was in front of them. For example, I think one of the best examples of that is the Green with Evil arc. If you see the Zeo Ranger version of that, it's a completely different thing. But they made it into this thing that, realistically, the Japanese version was scarier. But I remember being a kid, because I was 7 when that first came out, and being petrified of this guy that appeared. And it, whenever you saw a new Ranger, for example, when a Red Ranger appears on a spaceship, you're like, hang on, who's this guy that's just appeared out of nowhere? Because I've had this happen before. You get nervous.
Fool me once.
What's he doing, and why is he running away from the Power Rangers even though he's a Power Ranger? Okay.
Why has he got a silver guy in the meat locker back there? What's going on?
The gift that keeps on.
Andros, keep him on ice.
Exactly.
But the real reason Andros took Zordon out is like, don't let out my secrets.
Don't tell him about the others.
Dark Rangers. Again, it's a fantasy that can happen. That you think, okay, what could if we make this? Because one of them things that people are asking for now is what's going to happen with the new whatever happens with Power Rangers. Are we getting a reboot? Are we getting a? Is it going to be the same? Is it still going to be aimed at 7 to 8 year olds, or is it going to be something that's more for grown-ups but for kids as well, like an Avengers kind of thing that's for everybody? What happens next? And that is always the question, and we're left guessing until we get this web series with the Ninja Kids. What do you guys what do you think is the best route for Power Rangers? What do you think would make everybody happy, like in a sense, if they were to start it again or do it? What do you think's next or should be next in your eyes?
Dave, you got anything, or you want me to go?
You can go.
I'll go ahead. I'll say that what I think that they're probably going to do is they're probably going to aim it towards 14 or 15-year-olds, not as young as what they did with the original series. And yeah, I think it will be another reboot of Mighty Morphin. And they'll bring in Zordon, bring in Alpha, maybe add a new quirky character or something like that. I doubt they'll do Bulk and Skull, because those roles are like that's Paulie and Narvi. That's them.
Yeah.
Like you can't really take that away from them unless you're going to call Paulie and Narvi and have them do it again. But that would be kind of weird to have like 50-year-old guys giving shit to kids that are like teenagers. So that would be kind of weird. I don't think they're going to
the 80s anymore.
Yeah, it's not. So I think that's probably what they will do. I had said a long time ago that they really should have just done it as an animated series.
Yeah.
Because that way it's easier on the studio. You don't have to pay for props. You don't have to pay for setting. You don't have to pay for lighting and any of that. All you got to do is just draw the damn thing. And you don't have to worry about like when you audition for Power Rangers, you don't have to be a martial artist. They're going to work around you. So some of us were. I was before I started. Selwyn was before he started. But not everybody was. Like Tracy wasn't. She was a dancer, but she was never a martial artist. But if you just do an animated show, you can have her do backflips like 40 times in the air, and it doesn't matter. And it doesn't even have to be in suit. She could just do that, So I think that animated would be the easiest way for them to do it. But also, I would really love it if they released more stuff that wasn't just Mighty Morphin.
Yeah.
If they released more stuff that was from other seasons, and not even necessarily space. It doesn't even have to be space, but it could be like whatever. I mean, hell, Mystic Force always has gotten like all the shit from everybody. But you know what? Hey, release some stuff for that, or like some toy lines or whatever, or pops, those little pops, stuff like that. They just don't do that, but I don't know why. However, because of YouTube, it's so easy to make your own series now. I mean, that's what I'm doing. Dave's a part of it. He's our narrator. So it's a lot easier to do it on your own, and it's a lot more work to do it when you're in the producer seat. But yeah, I mean, at least you get to make what you want to make. You get to, perfect it however you want it to be and all that. So it's, either make it a cartoon or just do it yourself on YouTube, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is that we live in a post-90s world. What worked in the 90s is not going to work today, because the kids who were our primary audience are, I'm not sure if sophisticated is the right word, but they've been brought up with mini computers in their hands, and they know how to do things that I didn't know how to do when I was 6. So the charm and the sort of rated G with extra cheese that is Mighty Morphin from 1993 is not going to work in 2026 or 2027. The kids will change the channel. They'll move on to something else. So whatever it is that they come up with, it needs to take whatever those elements that worked for, you know, the 6 different colors, the big robots and the big monsters changing form, and the old Ron Wassman rock and roll score. They need to distill that and transform it into something that's going to speak to a 2026 or 2027 crowd or whatever. So I don't envy their job as far as like trying to figure out what that is, because it's not just kids running around doing high kicks and punching silver guys in the face all the time. I mean, they're going to have to take into consideration how quickly kids grasp onto, well, this doesn't work. You know what I mean? So it's going to be very interesting to see where, you know, in what direction they go into, because we were all excited for the 2017 movie, and there are a lot of great things about the 2017 movie, but it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, and you have to ask yourself why? Why didn't it go anywhere?
It's such a shame, because I generally come out of that going, there was the biggest fault, for 2 faults for me, and I've said this repeatedly, was the morph when it happened. Like we said earlier, it wasn't the oomph, there wasn't the calling of the Zords. There was, it's morphing time, and they stand there and the suits appear. It's like, we've been waiting nearly an hour for that moment.
We need a specific scene for
we
that,
should have heard some dinosaurs being shouted out or something. And the other problem I had with it was the Krispy Kreme advert part of it. The fact that the whole film seemed to be like the Zeo crystal was under a Krispy Kreme was just like, okay, I understand that they're giving you money, but don't make that where the power source runs the grid. Beats
Well,
with a donut. There's literally a bit where Rita's eating a Krispy Kreme donut. It was that bit. Them 2 bits frustrating, but realistically, the movie, yes, the suits. I actually didn't mind the suits, but I get it. We all wanted to see a modern version of what we knew. But everything else, it was a great. And they set up, from what I understand, there was meant to be 5 movies. It was leading to, I think it was leading to In Space. They were doing the Zordon era as such, over 5 movies at least. And because it didn't instantly make $1 billion like films were at the time, it fizzled out. And it's gutting, because I really enjoyed it. I'd watch it. I can watch that over and over again. Because as a Power Ranger fan, it was cool. It was cool, and it was gritty.
Yeah.
For my age, it was great.
Yeah. I was happy with the fact that they actually had teenagers with attitude.
Yeah.
Because they did not have that in the original stuff. I'm sorry, they did not. They were like the 5 nicest, sweetest kids in the world.
Yeah,
Let me help you across the street, Grandma. I got you. Don't worry. Oh, buy some Girl Scout cookies for you too. Gotcha. I gotcha.
Again,
Again, they were so saccharine sweet.
Post 90s. We're post 90s.
Yes.
Away from that.
That kind of.
I didn't like what they did to Goldar though.
No,
I did not like the fact that he looked like that. I was very annoyed with that, because I always liked the idea that he was some big mentally deficient cat monkey thing. I don't know what the hell he was, but he was like a cat monkey, and he had wings, and he was dumb as hell. And I always liked that. I love that. That's what his thing is. He's just
a little bit Egyptian, you know, had that sort of look.
Yeah. There's a little Egyptian going there, but a lot of stupid.
Yeah.
Goldar in the film. Again, I'm sure Terry would have been quite happy to jump on and do 2 lines in that. Just give the voice.
I mean, I loved what Elizabeth Banks did with Rita. I thought that was great. She was freaking scary and insane, and I thought that was great. And then they had like this weird Austin Powers gold member kind of, I love gold, and it's just this big, and I'm like, no, bring back my lovable cat monkey dude, and let's have that. And the Zords were too small, man. They were just,
They're not seeing the actual Zord transfer, like the Megazord transformation. Silly little things like that, like you saw smoke and mirrors, and yeah, maybe again that might have been a budget thing. They couldn't afford to make this realistic robot transform in front of you, but that little detail of it transforming is a big part of what we.
Well, I understand why they did the whole redesign of everything like that, but I think they did it too much.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough of the original to make it recognizable. They changed it to something that, again, it didn't connect with the audience, and so they didn't go anywhere with it. So,
but the cast did. Annoyingly, the characters, Billy, an autistic version of Billy, for the especially for the time as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Absolutely brilliant. Why is he a boy genius? Because you look at the one. I've got a little boy who's autistic. And that's great, you're tapping into that and making the smartest one of all of them being the kid is the kid that's different, because Billy was different. Billy was different to everybody else. Characters, you tap into it. Trini and was it Trini in that had the dreams or had Rita visit?
Trini with Trini.
Trini, wasn't it? That, like her doubting herself and being his Rangers. Great, like ways of making these stories. Jason, unsure of whether he can lead the team. Brilliant. But again, what you changed, great. In the other sense, you changed too much on the bits we want to see. The Zords, the suits. Zordon. No offense, David. Bryan Cranston was fantastic. I think he was great.
I thought he was great too.
He was obviously led by example, obviously, sir.
Well, I mean, he had the ability to move around the ship. I thought that was like, man, that would have been great. I would have loved to have, just stuck on a wall. I couldn't do anything.
No, that's okay, man. We gotta get Zord on a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Where are we going? What are you doing with me?
Andros.
Put me back.
Andros, I have to go potty.
This road is for shit.
I'm going to show you now, because I want to bring up the very shortly. I want to bring up the trip to Greece. Now, that was planned last time, but I was talking to my phone's died on me. Laferde, can you bring up the picture, the AI picture I made? If you can.
Not from my phone, I can't. No, I don't have it connected to anything.
I'll email it to you after, guys, and show you it. My
Okay.
phone died as we were talking. But basically, I was asking AI, because I knew that we were going to talk. I was going to bring up this trip to Greece because we had such a good laugh talking about it last time. I asked AI to make a picture. It was going to be the same three that was here last time, David. It was me, Laferde, and Tony. But Tony, kids was being a nightmare, so we couldn't make it. So I put the three of us in the back of a convertible. Andros is driving. And Zordon was meant to be in the passenger seat in his tube, but AI just kept putting him outside the car. But honestly, it was roughly 2 o'clock in the morning last night. I was messing about with ChatGPT making it, and I was sending it over to the group going, guys, this is brilliant. Like the fact that it's taken a picture of us three and made it look like animated versions of us. Andros' suit is almost perfect, apart from the helmet. The suit is perfect, the helmet just looks a little bit too Mighty Morphin.
Okay.
It's annoying me that I can't bring it up to show you now, but it's one of those. Just quickly before we talk about Greece, I had a friend of ours on TikTok. He goes by the name of Power Chamber TikTok. He had a question for each of you, and I said I'd bring it up. David, for you, it was when did David realise he was part of something that was going to be a big hit? And obviously we've spoke about your journey before, how it was for you on set.
Yeah.
It might have been different to what the other guys were realising that were there on the sets every day in the costumes. But when did you know? I think he's asking.
After I left, after I had gone back to the East Coast, and it was Christmas time, and I was in a mall shopping for gifts for friends and stuff, and I'm like, why are all these people crowding around KB Toys? What's going on over there? And that's the first time I saw the power chamber that had my face on it, and people were fighting over, the toys and stuff. And I'm like going, oh wow, I'm never going to see a penny of that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's when I knew. Yeah. So.
Yeah. The heartache sets in.
Which is the common consensus when you hear about Power Rangers, like the money we should have made from it.
Oh,
we got, but we're part
dude,
of something fantastic.
If we all made 1% of toy sales, we would all be multimillionaires.
You wouldn't have to come on small podcasts like this.
I would not have to do anything. I could sit there and lay down in my money pool and dive around in all my bills and shit. And
Andros McDuck, right?
Exactly. 1%.
Yeah.
Oh.
They would if they would have been giving you that kind of money, they would have definitely let you keep a costume.
Well, I made less than $1,000 on the show, and they made $1 billion the first year. I mean, what the heck? What's 1% of $1 billion?
Wow. This is why. Because again, I think it's when it goes back to the fans. The fans appreciate you guys. I mean, again, you didn't have to say yes to come on this podcast once, David, let alone twice. You didn't have to mention it to Chris, and then Chris, you being like, okay, if David's been on there, you didn't have to come over and be on this small-time podcast.
Oh, yes, I did, because if I didn't, he wouldn't shut the fuck up.
No, I mean, I think Chris and I both recognize that we're here because of guys like you. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, yeah, it would be very easy for us to say, I don't want to have anything to do with that, but that is not who we are, or at least it's not who I am. I mean, people always ask me, what's the best thing about being Zordon? I'm like, right now is the best thing about being Zordon, because I get to hear the stories of the people that, really, really like the show and want to talk about it and explore about it. And so I'm more than happy to, pop on and say hi, how you doing, and whatever. I mean, it also has to do with the fact that, I live alone and nobody talks to me, and so no, I mean, it's fine. I'm happy to come on.
That's again, because like you say, it's what makes this great, isn't it? You get to meet people. Yes, okay, people would be silly if they didn't realise that. Yes, you're doing cons and you are making some money out of it. Probably maybe more money than you made in the entire run of Power Rangers that you actually worked on. But that silly little thing is. Yeah, right. Is the silly little thing that we don't mind coming and paying a bit of money to get a picture with you, because you're our childhood.
Yep.
Up here, I mean, I don't know of any cons in the UK that you guys have been to previous together, but I
never been to one. Never been to the UK.
Yeah, I would love to. It's just a matter of whether or not the promoter can afford to fly us over, or whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, I got tons of friends that live in England and Scotland, and every day, like they're and in Ireland, and they're all the same. They're just like, when are you gonna come over here? When are you gonna come over here? When you have a con over there that wants to bring me, dumbass, bring me over. I'll be happy to. I'll drink you under the table. Let's do it.
Ryan, October 26th. We got any room for a minute?
Yeah, listen, we've got a wrestling show, but our budget is not going to be. I would love to sit here and say, listen, flights are booked. Come to Basildon, Essex, on the 26th of October. We've got a wrestling show. We just want you there. Of course, I would love to see that.
Dude, I'd do it.
Unfortunately, I will be in Indiana during that time. So
see, David's busy. Chris is like, you can't afford me.
Well.
But this is what I was thinking. This is the plan now, because we're going to go back to this. Chris, like I said, by default, now a friend of ours, whether you like it or not. You're a friend of our podcast. You're one of the dorks. If we're going to Greece with David, you're coming along as well. We're going to go on a traditional British lads holiday. That means bar crawls. You keep talking about drinking. We'll show the British way of going on a holiday. I keep thinking Greece, but then you may never have heard of a place called Benidorm.
I can't say.
I don't think we can do that to them.
No, because Benidorm is as British as they can. Greece has, but Benidorm is as corny British holidays as you could get. But I'm going to have to send you a link. There's a TV series called Benidorm, which is, honestly, it's the most British TV show. Families going on holidays that don't have a lot of money, that kind of, it's as cheesy as corny, but a proper British holiday. But the plan we've got to do is we need to now, our job as friends of yours is to make sure, start going to more cons and going, have you thought about Zordon and Andros from Power Rangers? Do you know them together are hilarious, they're great, get them over, because they will book the flights and have you come over for the con. Your return flights, just say to them, listen, can you just book the return flight a few days after the con? Don't worry, the Talks with Dorks guys are sorting what's happening, because in that time we will then take you from England to Greece or to Benidorm, and then you come back and the Comic-Con can pay for your flight.
That's right.
I've thought about this.
Return flight out of Athens, please.
Yes. I've already thought about it. We'll start becoming friends with the cons. We'll make them pay for the expensive flights. We'll do the Jet 2 holiday flights.
Ryanair. Way to do it.
No, they wouldn't. I don't think David and Chris would have heard of Ryanair. Jet 2, the whole world has heard about Jet 2 this year.
Yeah.
It's a silly advert on TikTok. And we can then say, like we said before, we're going to get proper printed T-shirts like you do on a lad's holiday. We'll have our characters on, whoever you want to be. I don't know. We'll have different characters. We'll go on and produce it. And I just want to sit.
Can I be Darth Vader?
You can be Darth Vader all you want.
All right, cool. That's all I want.
You can be Darth Vader, absolutely. I just want to be able to say this.
Dark helmet, more like.
That's also good. I'll take it.
Spaceballs, because I just think it'd be really great. Because David, I don't think did you say last time you're not a huge drinker?
I'm not, but I mean, I'm happy to be, designated driver kind of guy. I mean,
I'll drink his.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do a shot of Ouzo. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to turn that down, but I'm not going to get blind, stumbling drunk. That's just not who I am. So
that's what Chris does. So this is the reality. Yes. Last time we were talking about, David, you said that there would just be pictures of you plotted face down in the street drunk. Now I have this image. What it is that there's a group of lads competing with us to have a drinking competition. They don't realise that Andros the Red Ranger is drinking them out of passion, and Zordon is the one giving their mates advice. You probably shouldn't be doing this, boys. You probably shouldn't be doing this. They just think they're two really cool American guys that have come on a British holiday, but they just don't realise they've just been out drunk by a Red Ranger, and Zordon has given them life responsibilities while they're drunk in the middle of.
Is this a script you're pitching? Because this sounds a lot like a script now. It sounds like this is going to be made into a movie.
Let's make it into a script.
Sounds like a movie all of a sudden.
If you don't think I'm not documenting the whole thing, you'd be crazy. This holiday's happening. Our job now, Laferde, you go to cons up north, I'll go down to the south, and just kick every person that looks official at a con. Listen, just say.
Everybody with a lanyard on.
Yeah, everybody with a lanyard on. Listen, you've had these Rangers. Have you had Zordon? Have you had Andros? Think about the fun you could have, the photo opportunities of Andros swinging towards Zordon and the fan in the middle. Think of that. It will look great for your con.
Well, knowing Chris, he's gonna want to do Zordon's revenge photo shoot. That's what he do, so.
I'm always happier doing that. So
yeah. I've seen
Zordon swinging the sword at me.
Yeah.
I've seen some of these pictures around. This is what I mean. See, exactly. You're making it fun, so we'll sell it to them for you. Don't worry. I mean, if our wrestling shows keep going, we're going to start our own con. If we start our own Comic-Con at some point, we've just got to episode 100. If we start a Comic-Con, you're the first 2 people we're booking. Done.
Hell yeah.
Just
works for me.
A little bit cheaper for us because we're skint. We're broke.
We don't have any experience with that at all.
Yeah.
So.
We've been raking in millions ever since we were involved.
Yeah.
Chris, Power Chamber TikTok, question for you, and I thought this was really random. Probably is that not even why was there this on set, but how many times have you been asked about why there was horses on the set of Forever Red?
I think I'm the one that actually brings it up more than anybody because I look at that episode and I'm like, why the fuck are there horses? Why are there robots riding around on horses on the moon? I wondered that. So if I was going to give you an answer, it'd be, I don't know, I got nothing. There's just horses on the moon and they're robots are riding, and they're Beetleborgs. There's Beetleborgs. So why not? Shut up, enjoy it.
Things that I missed. I didn't see the gigantic child that stood behind a Megazord in an episode. I didn't see that the Green Ranger shield sometimes was different in it. I didn't see all these little things that other people point out. But in Forever Red, I was sitting there going, when was the Beetleborgs in Power Rangers? But okay,
Yeah.
I'm all here for a crossover. I'm a 90s kid. I'm here for it. I'm okay with it.
You know why? Because it didn't cost them a penny to add those.
Yeah, they already had the suits. Yeah,
Yeah.
the suits have been
costume.
sitting. The suits are sitting there they're collecting dust, so they're just like, screw it, bring these out.
Do you remember that Beetleborg show? We did like a season or two of it. Just didn't really pick up. Guess what we could do?
Yeah.
We could bring back all them Power Rangers. Just be careful of that Jason David Frank. You know he likes stealing things.
He's gonna walk away with a horse.
Keep him next to Chris. Chris knows his lesson. Chris knows not to steal from us. But Laferde, because obviously we're now at an hour and 15. I'm sure David and Chris potentially, hopefully, they're not bored, but maybe thinking
I'm good.
It's time to wrap things up. Laferde, this is your time.
If
mate.
you like.
So, on the gaming side of things, who's better?
Who's better?
Yeah.
Who's the better gamer?
I think Chris has.
Well, I was gonna say I think we probably both have things that we're better at, like one than the other. So, what were you gonna say, Dave?
Well, I think Chris has more experience streaming games and playing a wider variety of games. I get stuck on playing the same game over and over simply because I don't know. As I get older, I'm like, oh, I like this. I don't want to do anything else. But like Chris said, I mean, you know, we fall into rhythms whenever we do these games. Like when we were playing Red Dead Redemption, you know, Chris was better at some things, and I was always driving the wagon, making sure the moonshine didn't get cracked or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, so you know, you fall into a rhythm about. Or when we play 7 Days to Die, Chris is the sneaky, stealthy sniper kind of guy, and I'm falling behind, cleaning up, you know, all the real stuff. So I mean, we just fall into a rhythm of. I don't really think we're competing. Who's better at what? I mean, you know, we're just having fun, talking shit.
Well, going back to Red Dead though, when we were playing that was years ago, but there was probably a group of like I don't know, like anywhere from 6 to 8 of us. And Dave had amassed so much goddamn money in that game that he had more money than all of us put together. And he was looking at us from up high on his palatial estate, like, "Oh, look at the peasants down there.
Well,
yeah,
that's
right around. Get your
because-
$5 here, your $6 there."
Right. That's because I had the MTU exploit, and so I was playing Red Dead Online by myself. Didn't have to worry about anybody coming along and shooting my hat off or anything like that. So yeah,
He had all the money.
I
Yeah.
had the same
do my daily challenges every day. I would do all that stuff. Yeah.
I had the same thing with GTA Online. I could never, because same company, it's the online stuff. I could never do the online. When I finally got convinced go to play GTA Online, my nephew was like, "Come play with me." We went into this game. I've got like a push bike and
Yeah.
$2,000. He's got a multi-billion drug company with
Yeah.
strippers and casinos and all this, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and everybody is better than just got everything, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I don't think I can play this with everybody. I feel like, right at this moment, it's been out so long that no matter how hard I graft now, everybody is always going to be better than me. It's too much. I can't be doing it. I don't have.
Yeah,
the time.
I got tired of riding around in an armored car while getting shot down by 6 Harrier jets by douchebag players. Who are just like, "Yeah, no, I stole my mom's credit card. I just bought this. It cost me $100 or whatever." It's like,
The
man,
flying motorbikes.
go read a book. Shut up. You know.
This is the thing about gaming. Like everything becomes too much when everybody else gets involved. It becomes too much, doesn't it? Like the Fortnite, the Power Rangers part of it. Absolutely. Did either of you give it a go? Just to
I mean,
see it.
sometimes it could be fun. I mean, like when we were playing Red Dead, I mean, we would have like another posse try to jump us, and so it was great to have because I'm not an aggressive player, but other members of our posse were like, oh, they're not getting away with that. We're you know,
Yeah. Oh,
they
it's
got to go
revenge.
down. They got to go down.
Yeah.
So I had
We're
to
gonna
like
find them.
rise to the occasion and do the thing that I normally wouldn't do. But I mean, it made a lot more fun to have somebody there, trying to protect your back and whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, it's tough.
Do you ever game together and like when you're playing games like that where there's other people that can join you and talk to you and that? Do you ever have like a bit of fun, like with it in the sense of because like for example, that you know that they're gonna know not know who you are, but if they ever found out down the line who they've been playing with, like playing with playing with the children that you're playing against as such, that these people that probably watched you as kids now play them not realizing it's you. Do you ever have a bit of fun with it?
I don't think I've ever run into anything like that. I mean,
No.
no. I mean, Chris and I were playing 7 Days one time, and another player hopped into the server, and we thought that we had it password protected, but for whatever reason they were in. But they had joined the server, and they were so low level, and we were like, I don't know, level 60 or whatever.
Yeah,
So
we were way up there.
the zombies in the game were more geared towards us, and so that person was trying to run around and do things, and they would just continually get beat down and eaten, and we were like going, well, have fun with that.
Yeah. Yeah, like every 8 seconds we would see it again. So and so player has just died. So and so player has just died. So and so.
And then they eventually
It's
just
like,
exited or whatever. So
yeah.
I'm not playing with these Power Rangers anymore. I think that's something I would just the child pranking me, like I say, Fortnite has been having this Power Ranger thing, the Megazord. Like you literally have to talk to Zordon, and Fortnite has just added the proximity chat so you can hear people and other teams and stuff. I just, for me, I would have been having so much fun with that, going to hide near Zordon and talking to people as they're walking past as Zordon, like, did you? As
Is that actually Zordon?
Like,
What?
Zordon's AI technology has got too good here. What's going on? And you can imagine if they brought Andros in as this playable skin, Chris, and you're just running around. No one, not what person to have a clue. You're running around as yourself.
I don't think that. I don't think they'll bring Andros out. I think they're going to stick with the Mighty Morphin stuff. That's what they'll do.
That's the thing you were saying earlier. It's the question because it always goes back to that.
I did do a con once upon a time. I did a con a very, 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 very long time ago. I don't even remember what it was called. I think it was like Cosplay Con or something like that. But that's basically what it all was a cosplay con. And I think I might have been like the only Power Ranger actor. Hell, I might have been the only actor there, as far as I know. And I had set it up that. I brought my own cosplay that I was going to wear on the third day, which I got out and I started walking around with, and nobody knew what the hell it was because it was my character from GTA Online, and I had everything for it. And my character was walking around with the brownish tabby cat head, the mask on, so. I had somebody make me this head that, like, the mouth would move and all this shit. I got it in my closet right now, and it's and I like the suit, the outfit that I wore was totally 100% everything that I wore on GTA. It was one of the most fun times that nobody had any clue that it was me, and I loved it. I absolutely loved that.
I think that's. Well, I mean, some of the best things is when you've seen celebrities or people that have been in these, it's having a bit of fun with it. I think again another one of those things that makes what you guys have done and being part of is fun, is that you can have a laugh at it. You know, when you see like people, celebrities in the background to pictures that people don't know they're there or stuff like that. Like that to me would just be the best part of being in the limelight. It's just nerding out for the fans. Because exactly, they're the ones that put you there. Why not give them a memory, even if they don't know the memories happen?
Yeah, you can never take a picture in front of Nemo though, because he'll always jump in there. He'll be in the background somewhere. Justin will always find a way to photobomb that shit. He smells cameras. So.
Okay, we're coming up to an hour and a half, guys, and I hope you guys have had a phenomenal time.
Yes, sir.
So every so often, I just look. Oh, look.
Oh, look at that fuzz face.
Oh, what's the kitten's name?
Her name is Serena. Serena. Yeah.
And my Smiggle is usually making an appearance, but I've made sure the door and the window's locked because she just appears sometimes.
I don't know
Is
where
everyone
mine
getting
are.
their cats?
Yeah, mine are out. Mine are out in the other room. Hey, dummy, come here. Beep, beep, beep. No, she won't go.
Yeah,
No, she won't do it.
My cat's probably been thrown out the back door at the moment. Probably gotten himself in trouble. But honestly, like, Laferde, this is the quietest I know you to be. I know you'd sit there and just take it all in. But
I'm like a fan on an episode right now. This is great.
Of course you are. You're listening to the episode. So you're like, I'm part of this, but I'm also just listening. And I think we can safely say episode 100 of this podcast is one that we'll never ever forget because, again, it's one of those moments. You know, every so often you have them moments where you feel like you're watching yourself. Every so often I felt like I've been looking down at this screen going, you know, it's the Obi-Wan. That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's the fucking Zordon and Andros on the screen. It's literally that. It's literally happened. Like, the second time we've had David here, Chris. Hopefully the first of maybe more. If you don't get off and go, David, don't ever take it.
I blame you, Dave.
I'm not going to Greece with them. I can outdrink the lot of them. Look at them.
Well, no, Chris can bring on Tracy or Justin, and
This sounds
Yeah?
amazing.
Yeah.
I can reach other people.
Right. Laferde, did you hear that?
I believe me, I heard that one.
Okay.
He caught that. Oh yeah.
I've got, in our emails, you can see that he's in their emails there, right? He can't get away from us now. He replies. I've seen it. Even if someone gets the date wrong and everything, because he's so confused about 3 different time zones to think about. That's how serious this podcast is. I've had to think of 3 different time zones for this. I didn't know what time it was for anybody. It's got to be coming up to 3 for you, Chris. David, 5.
Yes, it is 3 o'clock for me.
Yeah, 5 o'clock for me.
We're at 11. But this honestly, this has been unbelievable. Before we wrap up, is there anything you guys want to talk about? Anything you want to promote? Anything you're doing? Obviously, I know Bloodline the Grid's still going on. David, I know you're still writing. I hope.
Yeah. I mean, Chris and I will both be at Ranger Stop in November. So if you're in Orlando, Florida, come by and see us.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, I wish I was.
And if you're not in Orlando, come to Orlando.
If I had the money, so then for us, anybody that runs a Comic-Con in the UK that is watching this, listen, do you see these 2 gentlemen here? Do you see how much fun we've had with them? Imagine how much fun you would have with them. And just remember, they will also be coming on a little trip with us to either Benidorm or Greece. We're doing a British Lights holiday. So we'll
Sweet.
sort that bit. You just sort their flights out, okay? And book you for a couple of Comic-Cons. It's as easy as that. Laferde, do you remember any of the promo stuff?
I don't even know why you ask me this every week. I don't remember this stuff.
Because I'm trying to give you something to do. Because you look quite lazy sat here, mate. To be honest.
Wow.
You've been dribbling the whole time.
Yeah, but I don't mind that. Usually, right, you're telling me off for saying something, so you know what, you've had a week off from me.
Yeah, but I knew you'd be professional, and to be fair, I knew you'd be too nervous to talk for most of this, so I was quite glad it was you, to be fair.
At least I turned up.
Yeah, the rest of them, right, they're all sacked. They can't be here for episode 100 with 2 of the 2 biggest names we've ever had. Screw them. Screw the lot of them.
Screw 'em.
Right, let me
Moving
do
on.
it then. It goes like this. If you are a card grader and you want to get your cards graded, go to treefroggrading.com and use the code TWD15 for 15% off. The next one is our friend JC's clothing line, Graffiti Washed. Graffiti Washed is fun, it's quirky, and you could consider it controversial, but that's up to you. You check out the clothing range. The link for his Etsy shop will be down below, and use the code TalksWithDorks30 for 30% off. Final one is our Patreon page, and as this is episode 100, I'm going to add a link down below so you get 1 month free of Patreon, so you can check it out. So go check that out down below with the Patreon page. That is patreon.com/TalkDorkPodcast. That's all the serious stuff. Chris, David, anything you guys want to say? Anything? Do you want to give out your socials? I'm sure if people are watching you and don't know your socials, they'll be very upset. But just in case,
Dave?
if you want to give them out.
Best way to find me is on Instagram at GJFielding_Zordon.
Yeah, same for me. Instagram, Christopher Kamen Lee. Also live stream here and there on Twitch, Chris Kamen Lee. And Dave also live streams on Twitch. So
Zordon I am. That's me on Twitch.
there it is. So
I
yeah.
follow you both, just so you know. Always looking, always popping in and having a look. We are at Talk Dork Podcast on all the socials, our wrestling side of things, and don't forget, like, Back in Time is literally happening soon. Get your tickets now. Come be a part of wrestling history with us, because we've got loads of stuff going on. And you'll have seen by now, we found an opponent for D'Angelo. Back in Time ticket link down below. If you want to do the gaming side of things, we're on YouTube and on TikTok at Gaming with Dorks. Gentlemen, I hope you don't mind me asking this. I'm going to ask you to see us out. You both kind of have catchphrases a little bit. If you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind seeing us out, either whoever wants to go first, just like ending with those famous lines. Chris is like, what line? You know that?
I have a lot of lines I'm famous for. So.
That one's the one I'm thinking of. Is your more?
Oh,
okay. If you don't mind,
That one.
I'm probably asking to do it too much, and you're probably going to tell me off afterwards. But I feel like the 8-year-old in me is screaming to hear, even if you just say it.
The 32-year-old in me is, don't worry.
Yep. Okay. Gentlemen.
Dave, you want to go first, or you want me to?
You can go first.
Okay, gonna shout. Let's rock it!
Yes, David.
Talks with Dorks. May the power protect you.
See you later.
You're a dork.
I hate dorks. Talks with Dorks. May the power protect you.
Let's rock